Check this out. These guys turned a small cafe brand into a coffee empire. But get this, their biggest breakthrough came after a total disaster occurred. So how did they do it? This is a crazy story, so listen carefully. One day, Nabi was offered a US concept for a cafe brand called Gloria jeans. So he approached his friend Peter with this idea. Peter loved it. So they both decided to go down to America and check it out. Whilst there, they saw huge potential everywhere. They knew that with their combined expertise, they could launch this brand in Australia and potentially kill it. But here's the thing, while negotiating the Gloria jeans license agreement for Australia, there was an interesting condition. They had to open a minimum of 75 stores over a 10-year period, which seemed crazy at the time. Peter mentions later, when you have nothing, one store is a lot. So they renegotiated this down to 25, bought the license agreement, and yes, opened their very first store in Sydney, Australia in 1996. But initially, they weren't making enough money, so they went back to the drawing board. They decided to put more items on their menu and add more space for tables and chairs. So the next cafe incorporated these changes, and it really worked. Customers absolutely loved it. From here, things started looking up, and by 1998, they started to franchise aggressively across Australia. But a few years later, disaster hit. In October 2002, a massive fire burnt their entire warehouse to the ground. All they had left was a van and some stock. But here's the crazy thing. Peter used his stock to open 2 more stores and surprisingly continued to grow despite them having to work from home. In fact, sales went up by 20%. Crazy, right? In the years to come, they continued their Australian expansion and eventually went on to buy the global rights, excluding the US. In total, they expanded their footprint to 599 stores worldwide. Then finally, in 2014, they closed the biggest deal of their lives. They sold their chain to the Retail Food Group for a whopping $163 million. If it wasn't for Peter and Nabi's courage, the cafe culture in Australia would never have achieved the prestige that it today enjoys.